Hi there, Rachel Bradley here, principal broker in Oregon. And today I wanted to talk a little bit about the latest market action report and just go over the numbers and the new stats that have came out, and we'll just kind of do this together. So again, these are the numbers from February. We are in March 2025. So we'll have to see what March numbers look like. But right now we have February's numbers. So let's just jump right in. Inventory in months, we are at 3.2 months of inventory. Last month we hit 3.7, which is the most inventory that we have seen in the last couple years. So that's good news. We're starting to see more inventory on the market. Another stat that I like are these trends. So this tells us February 2025 versus January 2025. So new listings were down, pending sales were down. However, closed sales jumped up 17.7%. And when we look at February 2025 versus 2024, we have new listings down, pending sales down. However, closed sales increased 11.2%, and average sales price increased 6.3 versus the median of only 1.6. Total market time increased by a day. So right here we can see the residential sales by price range, and you'll notice this red area here tends to be the most competitive area of the market between this 300 and 600,000. And then we can jump up here. Now these are my favorite graphs, if you will, on these market reports. We can see that the active residential listings, I like this because it just gives us a nice graphic overview, if you will, of the trends that we're seeing in the real estate market. So active listings, we've seen more active listings over the last couple months than the last couple years. So keep in mind the seasonality of this, right? We're just coming into spring, and typically our spring market is when we see the most active listings. Now, new listings did decrease a little bit from 2024, however, increased from 2023. So we did see some new listings hitting the market, and in January we saw more new listings than we have the last couple years. So this is a little good indicator, but again, we need to see how this line is going to progress through that spring market. Pending sales. Pending sales are a little bit down right now. Now they were up from January 2020. I'm sorry, from 2024. Our pending sales did increase slightly, but right now in February they're down a little bit. So we're going to keep an eye on this. What we expect to see is that we're going to start to kind of follow this arch pattern of our pending sales into the spring market. Closed sales, we're hovering right around where we were in 2023. We are a little bit higher than 2024. So this number, we're definitely going to keep a close eye on. Can we get more closed sales this year than we have the last couple years? A lot of that is going to be dependent, I believe, on the interest rates. So we are going to keeping a close eye on the interest rates, and we're going to watch how, if we do see, say, a half a point to a point decrease, how is that going to impact our closed sales? My guess is that we will see an increase in these closed sales from the last couple years, but we're going to have to wait and see how this all plays out. Average total market time. So January was a pretty slow month. We hit, gosh, it looks like almost 90 days. I think it was 87 days total market time in January. Now, some of this I think could be with the election cycle. The real estate market tends to kind of slow down a little bit around election cycles. So we'll see how this continues. Now, right now we're hovering at 79 days on market. So we'll see how March goes. Hopefully, right, we see this decrease and follow these other two lines, and our market time starts decreasing during our strong buyer months. So what this means for buyers is that actually this is a good time to buy if you're looking for a little bit more negotiation, because the average days on market, it is taking properties longer to sell, and typically if properties take longer, sellers are going to be more willing to negotiate. Where when we start dropping into, like, looking back in 2023, right, your average days on market, we were down at that 30 days. That's pretty quick for houses to sell that fast. So a balanced market, right, we're at 3.2 months of inventory. That means it will take the current market 3.2 months to absorb what we have now. But a more balanced market, maybe even swinging, well, not maybe, swinging more towards a buyer's market, is going to be around 6 months of inventory. So we still have low inventory, but we don't have enough inventory where if we get a surge of buyer demand, unless we see a huge influx of listings, my guess is we start to see this average total days on market drop back down lower to maybe that 30 days again, but we'll keep an eye on that. Average and median sale price, you can see that over the years it's been steadily going up. Obviously we've had some dips here in the average and median sale price. With that being said, it has been definitely steadily increasing. So when people talk about, I'm waiting for prices to come down, I just don't see it. The reality of supply and demand is we still don't have enough supply. We're still only at 3.2 months of inventory. And like I said, any sort of adjustment in that interest rate, if that interest rate gets below 6%, I believe that the market is going to eat up our supply. And I believe that will then again start pushing on home prices, right? That's what we saw right here in about this 2021, 2022, when we saw those amazing, phenomenal interest rates, right? We call them the unicorn years. We saw that push up on prices there. So then they came down, then they came back up, and now we're kind of, ebb and flowing with this. But this will be really, really good to keep an eye on. Let's see what happens there. Average sold price change. So we have seen an increase in this. This tells me that most likely this is affected by people reducing their price. So, if those prices, if sellers have been on the market a couple months and have to come down in price, we'll see that change there. Average square footage of homes on the market. I don't read too much into this metric. I'm not sure why this is spiked here. My guess is new construction. New construction homes tend to have more square footage. Average price per square foot. So we can see that the average price per square foot has increased. That's a pretty big amount from, 2023 and 2024. So we're going to have to kind of keep our eye on that and see what this does. Now, average price per square foot too, it's an interesting metric, especially if you're dealing with condos. It's extremely helpful if you can compare apples to apples in the same building. Then average price per square foot really comes into play. But in Portland, we have such a vast array of houses, like I'm sure other areas do, and neighborhoods, that average price per square foot is not always the greatest metric. It's a metric. It's something to be aware of. It's something to consider and to look at. But unless the properties are almost identical, it's not always the best gauge, in my opinion, in pricing a home. But again, it's something to keep in mind. If we're looking at average price per square foot is around $320 and you're at $800, obviously we've got an issue in pricing there. So it is something that I always look at, but it's not. It's definitely not everything. So median sale price, Portland versus Clark County, Washington. So we can just kind of compare the two to see where they're at in pricing. Portland Metro is typically going to be higher, but you can see that Clark County, outpriced, if you will, Portland in some period during some periods of time. But historically, pretty much across the board, the Portland metro area is going to be more expensive. Total active listings, again, we looked at this number right at the beginning. The total active listings that are hitting the market. So this metric is interesting to me. We have active and closed condos. So active listings, look at this. We've seen a spike of active listings, condo listings in Portland. We did have a dip down. Now we're kind of rising above. So it's slowed down. Again, this is kind of that, maybe seasonality a little bit in December, and now it's going to start to increase. But when you look at closed sales, they're pretty flatlined in the condo market in Portland. So this could be a potential opportunity for buyers, especially if you feel like you're getting priced out of the market. You might consider a condo as your first purchase, and then in 3 to 5 years, sell that condo, use that equity, and roll it into a single family home. If you're looking to sell a condo, make sure that your realtor really knows the numbers of your particular area. So keep in mind when we're looking at these Portland metro numbers, if I was to come out to list your property, I am going to hone this down even further. I'm going to look at your particular city, your particular neighborhood, sometimes your particular street, to get accurate information and data. But this is telling me that the condo market seems to be a little bit soft. And here we go into the condo median sale price. So we can see we had kind of a peak over here in 2022. And then yes, the prices, median sale price has come down. And we had a pretty significant dip here in the December 2024. However, we do see that the prices are starting to come back up a little bit for condos. So something to keep in mind. This report is really fantastic to go through these numbers and make sure that you understand, and definitely, maybe you don't need to understand it, but your realtor needs to understand what is going on in your local market and how that is going to impact you when it comes to buying or selling a home. So here's the median sale price in different areas. You can see that as we get into, the Westland LO area, we're looking at $865, $645 for Tualatin Tigard. Out in Molalla, Canby, Oregon City area, it drops down to $590. Housing is definitely more affordable out in the Gresham Sandy area. So, and again, this can be narrowed down further. So if you're looking at, say, a couple different cities, you're looking at Happy Valley versus Beaverton, I can let you know the statistics for that area and where might be the best opportunity for you to potentially maybe save on a home or being able to negotiate with the seller. And again, when it comes to the sell side, it's all about making sure that your agent has really narrowed down your property and ran the numbers for that particular area so that your home is priced correctly, so that you are not sitting on the market too long and having to take price reductions. So I hope you find that information helpful. If you'd like a copy of this report, I'm happy to email you the entire report. And if you have any questions on buying or selling in 2025, please feel free to reach out. I am always happy to help. Happy house hunting.